All right, guys, today's lesson is on tally charts, frequency charts, and dot plots. Last week when you worked on Khan Academy, the results were not so great, so we're going back to my videos and Classkick. So, all right, so here's the deal. All of these are simply ways for you to organize data. That's what this unit is about, is data, all right? So let's just say that I ask a question for people. How many people in your family? Now, this would be a statistical question because you're going to have a range of answers. You're going to have a lot of different answers, okay? So let's just say here's what people answered, okay? So I asked this. So the first thing I want to know is how many people did I ask? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I asked 18 people, okay? So those were all of their answers. All right, so I want to organize that data because just a string of data right now is not as easy for me to look at. So I'm going to first make what's called a tally chart. So it is simply a T-chart. Okay, it's simply a T-chart. And I need to know the highest and the lowest number in my data. So the lowest number is a 2, and the highest number here would be a 9. So I'm going to go from 2 to 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so these numbers here represent the number in your family. That's what those numbers represent. And then I'm going to tally over here. Okay, so this is simply a T-chart because it looks like a T. Okay, all right, so in order to do this, I'm just going to do a tally. So I'm going to go, so there's a 3, so I'm going to cross it off, and I'm going to put a tally here, which is just a little chart. Then a 4, then a 2. So I'm crossing off as I go, so I make sure and get all of them. That's a 3, 4, 6, 4, 5, 3, 9. I'm doing it slowly because I don't want to miss any of them. 3. Oh, I have another 3. So when you do tallies, you do 1, 2, 3, 4. You cross over on the 5th one. Okay. 2, 5, 6, 4, and 7. Okay, so that's my tally chart. Okay, it's just using tallies. Now, I would do that rather than go through and count all the 3s because I don't want to miss one. So a tally is just an easy way to get them all. Okay, but now I'm going to turn it into a frequency chart. So again, it's still a T-chart, still a T-chart. The number on the left-hand side is still going to be the number in your family. Okay, I'm still going to go from 2 to 9. But now instead of tallies, we're going to have the frequency. Okay, so the frequency. So now instead of the tallies, I'm just going to count. There were 2 2s, there were 5 3s, there were 4 9s, 3 5s, 2 6s, 1 7, 0 8s, and 1 9. Okay, so that's just a frequency. All right. All right, so now we're going to do a dot plot. A dot plot is simply, again, your data. Now your data is going to look a different way. These are all vertical. This one's going to be horizontal. So again, my numbers are 2 to 9. Okay, and so the dot plots is you're just going to use dots for these numbers over here. So for 2, there were 2 people that had 2 people in their family. Okay, the next one, 3, there were 5s. So when you make your dots, you want to try to make them the exact same. So here's my next one. It should go in the same order there. So if you had graph paper, line paper, it'd be a lot easier. So 3, 4, 5. There's 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure they're lining up. Okay, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's 2 6s, 1 7. No 8, so leave the 8 alone, and then there's a 9. Okay, so for a dot plot, you might want to write down here, since all of these are labeled, these is still the number in your family. Okay. Now, if this were a line plot, let me pause the video and make a line plot real quick. All right, so I just went ahead and made a line plot too. So a line plot simply has the X's, a dot plot has dots, okay? So again, you wanna be consistent with your dots because you're gonna be able to see the shape of the data. So you can easily see that the most people have 3 in their family. The smallest would be, 7s and 9s. And just because there were no people that had 8s, you still list it, So if you have any kind of gap in your data where where there weren't any numbers, you still list them. You still list the numbers, okay? All right, so for example, when I say it's really important for you to make sure your data, so I can see, you know, my twos are all in the same line there. Like for example, let's say I had this dot plot, okay, line plot. So do you see how my x's, it's really hard for me to kind of establish anything, to see anything, because my x's are all totally different sizes. So there were two people that had two, there were two people that had three, but my x, it doesn't look the same because my x's are different sizes. So please try your best to make your dots or your x's the same size. So for fives too, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that had 5 people in their family, but that doesn't look like the highest because my x's are smaller than the others, okay? All right, so here's your example of a tally, a frequency, and a line plot, okay? So we're gonna use this information. You should be able to use this information to answer questions, okay? So if I have this, I could easily ask you how many people have 4 or less people in their family, 4 or less. So 4 or less, I would look at 4, and then less. I would have to count all of those people. So 4, 9, 10, 11. So 11 people have 4 or less in their family. How many people have 6? Or how many people have more than 6 people in their family? More than 6. So more than 6, it wouldn't be 6 because it's more than 6. So it's just going to be those people. So they're just 2 people that had more than 6 people in their family. Okay. You could have used either set of data to answer those questions. Okay. All right. You're going to do some examples of your own. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day, guys.